first of all, welcome. If you guys have not attended a live stream yet, my name is Cyndi Williams. I'm known as the Wanderlust CEO. I teach people how to grow, scale, and supersize their travel businesses. And I do a lot of fun stuff to support y'all, and because I love it, because I love travel. I started 25 years ago. I just cannot believe it. I just did the math on it the other day, and I kept saying, oh, I have over 20 years, over 20 years. I'm like, holy crap, I hit 25. That's nuts. So at any rate, I host a little show that streams out on Roku and Amazon and iTunes in podcast version, streams in the other two in video version. Called Bliss to Abundance. And it's all about people following their passion into abundance, right? Following your bliss into abundance and stepping into faith and doing whatever it is that you love. So that's sometimes we do it live stream, sometimes we do it on location. And this week we're actually headed to New Orleans, and I host an annual retreat. And this year it's in New Orleans for a select group of people, a mastermind retreat, if you will, and teach people in a fun environment, right, an immersive environment, how to grow their travel business. So anyway, I'm getting ready for New Orleans and doing so much fun stuff. I did not prepare properly for our live stream. But I thought what a fun thing to do as we're headed into fall is answer your questions. So I'm going to be going back and forth and reading your comments on the different platforms. But so please pop some questions in. I see Donna, Stacy joining us. Welcome. A few others streaming on other sites. So let me know, what are your questions? What do you want to know to grow your business? Are you having mindset issues, sales issues, marketing issues, automation issues? That's what we specialize in, right? So, but while we're waiting for questions to come in, I wanted to tell a fun little story. One of the things that people know about me is I love three things. I love travel, I love crazy earrings, and I love coffee mugs. Usually I share a coffee mug with y'all, but look what I have for you today. Look at this little guy. You recognize, you Disney people? Those are we were moving a few weeks ago, right? And so I found this like little bin in all my packed away kitchen stuff of all like the Disney, I have another one too. It's a little lotus. I don't know if you can see it back there. But I found all the little glow up ice cubes, and I'm like, why do we, sometimes we use them in the summer. I'm like, I'm going to bring those to the live stream. So those are super fun. And another good place to use those, by the way, to tell your clients, when my kids were really little, we used them in the bathtub. They loved that. So anyway, when we were moving, one of the things that, you know how when you move, like you move everything into the new house, and then you have to go back to the old house and like clean everything up and drag the last few things out of the attic and the garage and all that mess. So we were actually doing that this weekend. And my son, who is 10, said something so profound. So we were working away and I said, all right, guys, we are making progress. And my son, who's tired and has been lugging boxes, he turns around and he goes, I hate that word. I was like, whoa, hate's kind of a strong thing, buddy. I'm like, why do you hate the word progress? And he said, because it means you're not done. And I just was like, I'm going to share this everywhere. We shared it in our mastermind group for our clients yesterday. I'm sharing it here today. But isn't that true? Like, so we coached him into a different way of thinking about it. But the point being is, for those of us who like to have everything in a box, we like to have a list, we like to have everything done before we start, right? In those, you can feel demotivated, right? If you don't give yourself credit for the progress that you're making in your business. So the first thing is, take responsibility for wherever your business is today, right? Take radical responsibility over where it is and know your goal, know where you want to go, but know every little thing that you do, every little step that you take, every little forward step you make in a forward with forward momentum is a step in the right direction. So progress is a good thing. And sometimes it's going to be small because your kid's going to get sick, because you get sick, because you get too busy, because a sale pops up and you didn't have time to do your marketing. Like, I get it. There's a million reasons why you can make yourself feel bad about where you think you should be and where you're not. And that's, so that is such wasted energy, right? Like, stop doing that to yourself. It's 0% productive when you give yourself a hard time. A better way to think about that is, well, at least I got this far. So what do I need to step into to do the next thing? What help do I need to get? Or what learning do I need to do? Or what do I need to do to get to my goal? All right, so we have a couple questions over here on YouTube. If you guys are watching on Facebook, those are coming through a little more delayed, but ask some questions. You have the chance to ask anything during the live stream about your business. I would love to know, oops, I just lost my Facebook. I would love to know what your burning questions are, and so we can help you with any of those on the live stream. I just lost my page. Give me a minute. I'm going to get back there. Let me find it. And then I promise I see you over on YouTube too. So we'll get to those questions here in just a second. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start with Sarah over on YouTube is asking, how do I start? I'm super new. How do I start marketing? Oh, that's a good question. And it's an important question because marketing is one of those things that you can waste so much money on if you don't know how to do it properly. So I would say, Sarah, if you're brand new, of course, the first thing to do is to do some sort of launch. How are you going to communicate with, most of the time people start with their friends and family. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not going to get you to the stratosphere, but at least it will get you your first few bookings. Ideally, you can start to get some practice, but you want to do a launch. So take everybody that you have in that list and you want to craft an email, maybe even send them a snail mail. Sometimes we send them magnets, and do like a soft launch to friends and family. And then another thing that you can do for, if you're ready to start marketing in a real capacity, is you need to decide what your budget's going to be. And some of the best things you can do is optimize social media. Video marketing is so important. If you don't have a video strategy in place, especially for you experienced agents that you already know what you're doing, how to run your travel business, if you're not doing video marketing, you are just missing, there's a whole cash register full of money that you're missing right now. So yeah, but what you want to decide, Sarah, what your budget's going to be. So how much can you commit? You also want to make sure before you start marketing that you have a tracking system in place. So if you spend money on Facebook, YouTube, SEO, direct mail, on any of the different types of marketing that there are out there, that you can track the results and so you can decide if it makes sense for you to continue to do that. Another thing when you're brand new is a really good idea is to do a show. Okay, that'll get you kind of a lot of leads. We have a really cool guide for our clients. I see a lot of our clients are on. It's called How to Get Your First 100 Leads, and it's available with our launch kit, with our new ones as an add-on, or for our people that are going through our program, we give you a guide on how to run shows and all that good stuff. But try a show, get out there. That will start to get your name out there, and that'll generate your first, leads that are going to go into your database. And then the whole name of the game is warming those leads up and then converting them. There's lots of different processes you can put in place, sales funnels and different things. But that, I don't want to overwhelm you on call one, right? That would be like a super long one. So that's where I would start on that, Sarah. So Holly has a question. I don't know if I'm going in order, but I'm just, as they come up, I'm going to respond. So Holly says, client gifts, good idea or bad idea? I read gifts should be 10% of the commission amount. I'm on the fence about gifts. Holly, this is a great question. So it's really up to the individual agent, advisor, whatever you title yourself. We base our gifts based on the on the size of the trip, right? So if we're doing a $40,000 safari to Africa, we're probably going to send a beautiful gift basket, because that type of, luxury client, there's a certain expectation, and you want to also make sure that you're fostering that recurring business in the future. If that same client books a trip to New Orleans 6 months later, we might just send them a nice little guide from Amazon that's $7 or $8. I don't think you have to follow a 10% rule. Some people do that just to keep it, I guess, fair and even across the board, but that really is up to you. Some agents and advisors and owners don't do gifts at all. But what they do is they put together nice little PDFs, or they put together customized itineraries, or there's different things in their customer service satisfaction that they'll do for those value adds that clients appreciate. And Holly, you are actually in our Careers on Vacation Mastermind right now. So you're actually going to get a whole module on how to foster amazing service with your clients. And we go through some different scenarios and what you can do to set up and kind of cultivate that base, and some other things that are really valuable in terms of how you service your client from A to Z, how you turn them into a recurring client. So you're actually going to get all those tools. But as far as gifts, that would be my feedback on that. Kathy says, how do I get the guide? Well, Kathy, you went through our Careers on Vacation Mastermind, so I will send it to you, my love. I will post it in the grad group later today, so watch out for that. Sarah said, not YouTube, Sarah, Facebook, Sarah over on Facebook says, my goal in 2020 is to become automated. That is an awesome goal, Sarah. I'm spending so much time and energy repeating myself client after client. I've got big enough to where I can copy and paste isn't working. Hello, I know, so true. For any more invoicing, departure consultations, I do have a CRM, but I'm afraid of losing that one-on-one personalization. How do you make this transition? And how do you know when it's time? Thank you for all you do, Cyndi. I love learning from you. Well, Sarah, this is a great question. I'm glad you're getting a lot of value over the things we do. And to answer your question, it is never too soon to automate. Our clients who go through our program, we automate from day one. So where I would start, Sarah, is those 10 emails, right? There's 10 main emails you send. The congratulations, you're confirmed, the welcome home, all the emails that you know that you're repeating again and again. I don't know what you personally sell, but Disney agents might have a different set of emails because there's things you have to remind, or ones that do FITs or Europe or river cruises. So, but whatever those 10 things that you find yourself constantly copying and pasting, go and spend a half a day or a day and create 10 templates that you can replicate again and again. And I don't know what CRM you're on, but some of them allow you to create a template and then you can edit it and do different things. But at least if you have the template, it's a click of the button where you know it's consistent. And also that's so important if you guys scale and start to add team members, that you make sure you have that infrastructure in place first. Otherwise you have no idea what your ICs are sending all over the place. And that's one form of automation, Sarah. There's lots of others like, scheduling, monetizing, sales funnels. There's a whole bunch of stuff you might be ready for. So just keep that in mind, since in 2020, your goal is to be automated. Automation gives you your life back. Like, you get so much more time. So I'm glad that that's a goal, and I'm glad you're moving forward in that. Kathy says, hey, Cyndi, just wanted to let you know you're awesome. Well, thank you, Kathy. I just produced my first river cruise group. Yay! And if you remember, I was working on it when I graduated. Kathy, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. Kathy, everybody, Kathy H here over on Facebook, she went through our mastermind just recently. She graduated maybe a month ago, Kathy. You'd have to remind me. But having never been an agent before, had another business, and her and her husband were going through a transition to kind of decide what they want to do next, right? So Kathy, I'm so happy for you. Booking a river cruise is awesome. Booking a group on a river cruise is even better. So I am so happy for you. All right, so I'm going to double check flip over to YouTube here and see if we have anything else coming in. So we have another question over here on YouTube. Cyndi, how do you know if this business is going to be right for you? Oh, that's a good question. So Sam over on YouTube. So Sam, here's the thing. Like, there's definitely some questions you want to ask yourself. If you haven't started yet, my first question is always, do you have a passion for travel? if you don't have a passion for travel, then go find like what your passion is, right? Like we all get one. I read the most amazing quote the other day. It said, we get one life. Why aren't all of us running like our butts on fire? I don't think that's what the quote said, but running like our hair's on fire or something like that towards whatever your passion is. Like you're here for a limited time on earth, right? Run towards what your passion is. So if you're not passionate about travel, find out what you're passionate about and go do that, no matter how crazy it is, no matter how wild it is, no matter how many people tell you you can't do it. And I'm going to take a beat for a second. I promise I'm going to elaborate more for you. So when I was 10, 11, 12, during that time period, my mom went from being super mom to going through huge, huge health issues. Like she was in the hospital for 6 months. She died on the ICU table. They brought her back to life. Her lungs collapsed, just crazy stuff that I spent my childhood in hospitals for like 2 or 3 years. Watching my mom, and every day, the hospital issued they don't have to pay for parking anymore, which is basically like they think your parent or your loved one's going to pass away. And we knew this, like, as you can hear your aunts and uncles talking, you can hear the doctors talking as the oldest child at that time, kind of keenly that my perception of the situation. And that was the truth of the situation. Like they didn't know if my mom was going to make it. So at a very young age, like I got ingrained in me, like tomorrow is not freaking promised. It's not promised. So go after whatever it is that you love. Right. So that's just my little nugget. And that's why I've dedicated my life to inspiring people to follow their bliss into abundance, whatever that is. So if you have a passion for it. So if you do, awesome. That's kind of question 1. Question 2 is, do you want to do it as a hobby? Do you want to do it as full-time? And there's no wrong answers on that one, but you just have to kind of decide. And the good news is, I'm going to give you some great news. You do not have to quit your job and then try to start this one. In fact, I would not actually recommend that you do that. Whatever you're doing now, you can start part-time and build it up until you're ready to make that transition. How travel commissions work in the travel industry is you get paid when clients travel. There's other ways to make money if you're monetizing on the front end, but the bulk of what you're going to make you're going to get after people travel. So we're booking already into 2020, right? We already know what's on the books for 2020 and we're going to keep selling in 2020, but we have big months that, we know we're going to make about this much in January, this much in February. The point being is you're going to know about 3 or 4 months ahead of time when it's time to pull the trigger and say, I'm ready to transition out of my other role and into doing this full time, because you'll know how much with a full-time job and doing it part-time, you'll know how much you've been able to kind of produce, and then you can make decisions. And some people go to part-time at their regular job until they, can put more time and you can transition. The other thing is, I would ask, are you if you do want to do it as a full-time kind of venture, if you will, are you willing to do what it takes? Because it does require a lot of learning. You're going to need to invest in education. It's a good idea to invest in a mentor if you want to get there faster. And are you willing to do everything that it takes to kind of, get where you need to be? And are you going to be able to tackle that mindset? Right? That's where people struggle. Can I do it? Should I do it? Is it for me? And that's a mindset question really that you asked us this morning. So, but is it possible to be successful? 100%. Like I work with rock star clients. Like Kathy asked me those same questions when she started, like, oh, is this for me? And look, now she's posting, 12, 14 weeks after working with us. And she's like, I just booked my first group river cruise. That's awesome. So hopefully that helps you. And no matter what, I wish you so much love and abundance on your journey as you move forward. The other thing to keep in mind too is we have some free resources. So Sam, hop over and you can take the masterclass, cruiseonvacation.com/masterclass. And it really shows you all the different options you have for getting into the industry, so you can decide what's going to be best and right for you, because there are different options, which ones to avoid, which ones that are a good path depending on what your goals are, because how you get set up in the industry really depends on what your ultimate goals are. So think about that too. So, well, guys, this was so fun. I only had a few minutes to kind of hop on today. I'm just going to double check and see if we have any more coming over on Facebook. But I'm heading to New Orleans, so we are doing kind of a short show today. And if you're not already following us over at Wanderlust CEO on Instagram, definitely watch our Instagram stories. Those are going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to be doing tours and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll be sharing some of that over on these pages as well. And guys, listen, if you're thinking about growing, thinking about your 2020 goals, think about reaching out to us at careersonvacation.com/ready now if you want to apply for the mastermind, and we can help you with all this good stuff and so much more. And no matter what, I wish you so much love. I wish you so much abundance. I wish you the world. You guys have a great week. We'll be back next Wednesday. Take care, guys.